Is this something that you want to do, or is this something to fulfill Pops' fantasy?
They instantly, overnight, became one of the best teams in terms of pure assets and potential, in my personal opinion, because they can do anything.
Speaking of other draft things going on, our guy, friend of the show, Bronny James, has decided to go through with it. Now, there has been some very questionable things to come out about Bronny James. It is listed that Bronny James is actually 6'1.5" with no shoes.
But he's 6'4" with shoes. I don't care what you are with shoes.
Bezos, I don't think you go from 6'1.5".
I gotta. Yeah, I'm looking at my breads right now.
Yeah.
Nah, gang. You telling me I'm 6 feet out here?
No, but he's 6'1.5", so 6'3.5". That's pretty much 6'4".
He is not. Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something. He is not playing in Air Force Ones.
You don't need Air Force Ones to have 2-inch heels, essentially.
2.5.
It's like
2. He's 6'3.5". It's when you're 5'8.5" and you call yourself 5'9" type shit.
You literally making it sound like Bronny taller than us in heels right now, man. I ain't gonna lie. This is crazy, man.
Now, this also makes me question, what is Bryce? Because they said Bryce was 6'6", and
6'3.5".
he might be 6'4". He might be the one that's 6'4". 210, 6'7" and a quarter wingspan. I do got some footage of him. You know, this is him at the combine. He goes 19 for 25. Apparently they're doing a shooting drill, and he comes second in that. And then also, this is him with his vertical.
James jeans, yeah.
Hey. Especially because this is, I'm assuming, going to affect Sage's team the most.
Oh, please no.
Is this a mistake? Is this a mistake to go through this?
What for Bronny to want to get himself drafted?
To stay in the
I mean, unless our whole take is he could be exponentially better staying in college, and then that just creates a conversation of, is it better to do your years in college or go out? But outside of that, nah, ain't no mistake. You always have time to develop even in the league. Now, in terms of getting that opportunity off rip, yeah, you definitely take your chance in college. You're always going to get opportunity off of, no disrespect to him, but literally off name alone, you're going to get opportunity in college that you may not get in the NBA, because if you ain't like that, hey, that's fine and all, gang. You sitting down. But in terms of in general, though, nah, ain't no mistake. Young player want to get drafted. Everybody want to get drafted.
The NBA playoffs are here, man. There's a lot of money to be made if you play daily fantasy sports. And if you want to get into the action, you guys can use PrizePicks, the sponsor of this podcast, our preferable way to play daily fantasy sports. We will show you how to play the game right now, and it is very, very simple. Just sign up for an account, download their app, go on their website, and make some picks. And if you really know ball, you can win some money. I'm going to go ahead and look down here. Kevin Durant, 36.5 points plus rebounds plus assists versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm sensing a big game from KD tonight, man. Hit more for me, please. And then Darius Garland has been letting me down all year, and it's just another day of the year. Hit less for me on the PRA as well for Darius Garland. Omar, you decide how much we put on the entry.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit. I'm going to put 210 on there. Make place entry.
And if you use code LKIB, PrizePicks will match 100% of your first deposit up to $100. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right back to the content.
Yeah, I don't blame LeBron for giving him this opportunity if he wants it. Because on some nepotism shit, I guess I'm pro nepotism. We've had those conversations before. But in terms of like what's best for Bronny, though, I don't know. I would have liked to see him just spend a couple more years in USC and really establish his game. Because from my understanding, he's a really raw talent. So to just be more refined going into the league, for teams to know what they're getting, and for you to know what type of player you are gonna be in the pros as well, I think that's big for Bronny. But him rushing himself, in my opinion, that doesn't really do him any justice. But even for him personally, I don't know. I just feel like for the next 2 years, being the man on campus at USC is more fun than being a role player for, I don't know, whichever team drafts him. But
I'm ready for him to do interviews. I'm ready for somebody to press that B star and just straight up ask him, is this something that you want to do, or is this something to fulfill Pops' fantasy?
Yeah.
And I know he has some media trained, prepped ass answer. I just know he does. but I want to know what it is. That's the only thing I have to say. If you feel like this is the right decision for you, if you feel like you were wasting your time in college, Gilbert Arenas for sure thinks he does. You know, it's hard to gauge these guys in college anyway, so it is what it is. I'm super confused about the move, but you know, what do I know? I just do a podcast. So I think we all know my former team won the lottery not too long ago. This isn't necessarily the hottest of takes, and I was gonna go with the WNBA chartered flight take, just to, you know, one day I'm gonna go back through every single comment. I'm gonna go back through every single video response I've ever made for the people that were talking about the revenue, and you got to have profit to make these advancements and stuff like that, and then look at what they've done in the past month and a half, 2 months, and just, God, you were just so stupid. God, you were just so wrong. I'm ready to have my I told you so party for that, but that's not where I'm going. I am inviting people to get on the bandwagon, the hopping off the Hawks bandwagon.
Oh, no.
Hey, Landry, congratulations on the pick. But I think one of the other questions besides drafting the pick, there's always going to be questions on, do you keep the pick? What's your thoughts on that? Is this a surefire draft pick, or could there be movement with this pick?
Not even our focus right now. This is a point in time where the opportunity that's before us is an excellent opportunity, and it puts us in position, right? Like, positioning is key in this business, and that's the position we have right now, number one position. So we'll just keep doing what we do, gather as a group, and we'll figure this thing out in time.
Oh, I don't know what your resolution is going to be, but that's still.
What was the question again?
What?
Hey, besides keeping the pick, what are you exploring other options?
No, and their answer was no.
The answer was no.
We're keeping what we got.
Well, the answer wasn't no. The answer wasn't, hey, that's not even on the table. This is a no-brainer, slam dunk, home run type situation. We have a guy we're drafting. The answer was, you know, we're in the best position. We're gonna.
Yeah, they're thinking about it.
So my hot take of the week is join the bandwagon. The Hawks are going to fumble again, and I'm gonna tell you, for you young Hawks fans, to avoid the heartbreak that I've endured from being a Hawks fan for X amount of years, especially for you younger guys. To see a generational fumble twice in less than 10 years, 18 and then this year, nah, don't even do it to yourself, gang. Just go ahead. Let's go. Pick up a purple and gold.
Not what I expected today. I say that.
Bro, if the Hawks trade the number one pick, and I don't know, Ron Holland becomes Donovan Mitchell, and Alex Sarr becomes... Well, actually, the opposite. I don't know. If they trade the number one pick, and then this could go bad. I could see it going bad, bro.
And be, you know, nah.
Yeah, if Alex Sarr becomes Embiid or some shit, and then
for me, and maybe I think differently than people up here, but I still don't like the sound of that, because truthfully, I think the Hawks.
Hold on, I'm sorry, Sage. Switching teams is so corny.
Uh-oh.
Certain motherfuckers got passes. I ain't gonna lie.
Round one, fight.
You don't know pain. You don't know. Again, Luka and Trey is relatively new. I've seen us pass over on Chris Paul, right? I've seen us pass over on Pau Gasol. I've seen us pass over on so many people.
We found out about new shit they passed on like this last week.
People talking about, I'm a Bulls fan, I'm a Nets fan. Stop, bro. I get it. Switching teams can be so corny. You don't got no affiliation to these guys. You do not have to subject yourself to heart attack, to pain. I've cried a couple times for sports. Multiple times of those crying, really, was one time for LeBron James. The rest of them was for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't talk football at all anymore. I'm a happier and healthier individual. Y'all wonder why my hairline is like this today? Is because we could not beat the Green Bay Packers back in like 2012 We could not beat the San Francisco 49ers back in 14 or whatever. Trust me, it's much easier to do it this way.
Well, what do you think the Hawks are going to do? Like, yeah.
Well, let's get into it. I'm glad you asked, B-Souls.
What do you think they should do, by the way, as well?
Yeah, so the draft lottery just passed. We're talking about it at this moment, so it's not too much of a secret. But the Atlanta Hawks end up with the very first pick. Washington is 2. The Rockets are 3. Trailblazers down there 14th. OKC and the Spurs are in the lottery. We already talked about, and I just want to get everybody's reactions. We already talked about Detroit probably being the biggest loser. I don't think that that's a question.
Yeah.
Any other losers that you see here?
Toronto. They played like shit to not have a lottery pick. And I believe chat told me they got a pick swap with the Spurs, so they're about to have the Spurs pick next year. And that Spurs pick, depending on the offseason moves that they make, may not be as valuable. So the Raptors.
Okay. Sage?
For me, there was potential for I think the Thunder to go higher, but they're not a loser by any stretch considering their current state. Easy Chicago Bulls. You're way too bad to be drafting at pick 11. I know my college guys, every draft is the best draft ever, and then the casuals, every draft is weak. Fine, whatever. 11 is not the best pick to have in the lottery. Chicago is way too not talented. I wouldn't say Chicago is even a top 3 team on this board, or a top 5 team on this board, or a top 8 team on this board. Chicago sucks, and they're at 11. That's tough.
I'm gonna go Chicago to potentially a player on the Houston Rockets, because decisions will have to be made. They cannot continue to draft this high and get people like this. Their decisions will have to be made. So somebody's going to lose. Jalen Green, Tari Eason. Oh yeah, Brooklyn is a loser as well. Biggest winners on this. I'm gonna go ahead and say it: the San Antonio Spurs.
That's not a discussion outside of the one and only Atlanta Hawks. So it can just be which one we choose. I'll just be different and say the Hawks, because my God, they're powerful now. they're very powerful now. What I was gonna tap into and to answer Bisso's question, what they should do or anything, is not what Landry Field says, but consider everything. My goodness, you lucked into pick 1. You've talked about trading Trey and DeJounte Jordan for years, let alone just now. You have infinite options. You can go all in. You can try to draft the best guy right now and then keep Trey and DJ and then try to draft somebody else and boom, whatever. You can go completely backwards. Say, yeah, you know what? Fuck Trey. Get more picks. You know what? Fuck DeJounte Murray. Get more picks. Hell, fuck pick 1. Let's go to pick 5 and get more picks. You have infinite options. There is no reason that these niggas are going to sit there and just be like, hey, we got pick 1. Let's get it. No! Do your job. Oh my God, they have infinite power. This is like when they instantly overnight became one of the best teams in terms of pure assets and potential, in my personal opinion, because they can do anything. They legitimately can do anything, and I'm scared that they're gonna fuck it up too.
So you don't think they should just take Sarr at 1? Just keep it simple.
I don't know shit about Alexander Sarr, so I can't really dive on that or not. I hear his name a lot, but I don't know 5 things about this draft, so I'm not your guy for that. That's not my job. What I am saying is, if you can get a certain amount of assets for Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, one of the two, to go alongside an Alexander Sarr, if you think you can get a guy that's not Alexander Sarr, but he damn good at 3 or 4, you could trade down, get you an extra pick. There's again so many options. Complacency is the last thing I want to see the Hawks do. I'll say the last thing I want to see the Hawks do is not trade DeJounte Murray, not trade Trae Young, draft with pick 1, and don't sign a multitude of players. If they're basically bring the beat back with the new number 1 pick, easiest, biggest fumble possible.
Let me just put this on the screen.
Okay. I told you 6
7-1.
6'10"?
7-1.
7-1.
I'll let the rest of the world, do their due diligence on Star. I'm sorry. Really, really great defensive player. Like really, really, great defensive on both the wing and the, of course, the potential to be in the paint. I'll show some of his wing defense. This is a 7-minute video from D-Lee 3. We're not going to show the whole thing, of course. Is this right? Yeah, it's the right tab. That's him on the perimeter over there.
Oh yeah.
They feel like
Well, like J-Mac out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
not slow. He's not slow.
Yeah.
guy with some
Oh,
feet
he's
on.
kind of quick. Oh yeah.
This is a guy with some feet on him. That's him again defending the ball.
Huh. I like this guy.
Yeah, like I hate to hop on, but he literally do look like Jalen McDaniels on defense. Like literally.
He look like Super Saiyan John Collins, man.
Okay.
And look, stop. And look, I was very down when this officially got announced because I was like, dang, it's just our luck that we get that type of pick the year after, Wemby. Not a bad player. Literally, when describing what team you would build with the current ball handling system you have, I think a lot of people would say you start right here. You start right here. You start with a good defensive big, one that can protect, Trae Young from his weaknesses, people getting to the rim, all this stuff like that. One that can catch lobs. You start with this player right here. Then you go wing. But for sure, you start right here. Luka, we said the same thing. Hey, as soon as he gets a big. James Harden, as soon as he gets a big. Curry the 1 year. Dang, if he had just a big, this is what these things can be. So when you have a heliocentric offense, the first thing that you do to build a championship team is get a big. You have the opportunity in Atlanta to get a guy that is a perfect fit. Like what you've been begging for to get to Trae Young.
Yeah.
Or find out a lot about, like you just have a perfect fit right here.